Okay, look at this little woman in the corner like that. That's kind of cute. Let me blow it up to what I'm used to. Um, why is it in the corner like that? I don't know what's going on. Wait a minute. um. Oh, I know what it is. Come on, slow, honey. There you go. Eh. All right. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, you know how YouTube works, right? Um. So I was up, and let me say this to Devo. Devo, shut up. Don't worry about how I be speaking. I'm from the South. I'm slow, and I've always said that presenting was not my strong suit. Now, debating is. Okay, I'll eat you up with debate, but presenting, and especially I do mine on the fly, no preparation, none of that. So, now if I have a little prep, then yeah, I'm better. But yeah, you heard him talk about how slow I be talking and stuff like that. He ain't saying nothing about my presentations and they talking about, how I be talking and stuff. First of all, I'm cool. Okay, I'm rarely excited. I'm not bubbly. But I guarantee you, when I walk into the room, they turn around. Okay? I'm very quiet. I'm just messing with Debo. But all those things are true. But anyway, so, and I'm not going to keep anybody long. I just had to go revisit something because um, my feelings on this matter is wrong. And I'm going to tell you, or I'm going to show you why. I'm going to tell you what was said. So I'm going back in a little bit, right? I told you, when it comes to the record, this is just me, how I do things. This is my personal way that I do things, right? If I feel like I'm wrong or I'm not sure or what have you on a previous record, I'll come back and try to correct the record or try to at least explain it out on here for the wall. But I decided to do it live because I think it would be a little faster. I don't feel like type it, right? Um, and again, as I explained, I really try to stay away from speaking on things that I don't really know too much about or um, I'm not comfortable with speaking on. I don't avoid it totally, but I don't put a lot into it. And it's not because I can't achieve. It's just like it's just I feel a fraudulent sense, right? Like if I came out here and start talking about medicine and shit like that, I don't know about no damn medicine. It's obvious, right? Because I still be asking questions about the female anatomy, um, and shit like that, right? So y'all know, I don't know nothing about that. Okay, but but with that being said, right? When I go and I visit channels, and I visit a lot of channels, I am an on the go type person. So when I visit channels, I expect you to be the expert in whatever subject matter. And what I mean, and those who know. Again, I don't have to explain it to you. It is not my job to break down everything and all of that, especially when it's things that you should understand and know when I say it the first time. Okay, and I take that approach now because I have been accused of trying to tell people what to do. I mean, I don't know how that works in some people's small, mentally ill, disturbed, delayed brain when all I'm doing is giving you the information. I ain't tell you how to do shit. I'll always tell you, in my opinion or my feelings or what happened. If I don't say that all the time because I may forget, then you should be smart enough to know when you're hearing someone's opinion and you're hearing some way one's natural order of how they act to things. Not so it has nothing to do with you, right? Um, so so with that being said, when I go to visit channels, and when I mean I'm talking about, in this sector, whatever, I'm talking about when if I go to NBC or but let's scrap NBC. Just say if I go to just a regular ordinary person like you and I, they're putting a story out. Okay. I expect them to be the expert. I don't give a damn if they are a construction worker. The topic is about medicine and there's a doctor in the audience. I expect that construction worker to be the expert, meaning you're putting the story out, okay? You have a command of the knowledge, the details, you've checked it, you've researched it if you had to, and when I leave your page, I don't have more questions than I do answers. However, there are a lot of channels where you go and you leave with more questions than you do answers. And in my opinion, that's not how it's supposed to be. People go to your channel to get information, to get resolution, to get understanding. Because as the presenter, although you don't have to say, I'm giving you all the answers, whatever. Again, that's another thing that, depending on your age, that should be common sense, right? A lot of things should be common sense. You know, if you don't understand, various things in life, then most times it has something to do with your understanding. Like I said, again, you're probably delayed and slow. Okay, that's not necessarily the presenters' fault or the content creators' fault. A lot of times, it's probably lies within you. All right, so but I have gone to channels where I've been like, oh my gosh, I need 2 ibuprofen 800 and 3 aspirin. Because I don't know what I just heard. I'm more confused than I was. Hell, I don't even know my name. And if you continue to go to the slow and deal with the delay, you will become dumber. I'm not just making that up because what you are doing is consuming information from a dummy. That's not how I get down. However, oftentimes you don't know that you've landed on the page of a dummy until they start talking. And then you get sunk in because you're trying to figure out what, I mean, you sitting up there trying to understand. You seeking understanding in that moment. And that moment turns into hour. So I think, and this is just my opinion, that when you speak on subject, you need to know something about what you're talking about, right? Because if not, it leads me to number two. But you have to be, you have to have a certain kind of skill to speak on a topic that you know nothing about, but you had to use research and study to gain the knowledge, right? So if you don't know what to research and what to study, I mean, you probably shouldn't be speaking on that topic because you're gonna confuse everybody, you know? And for people like me who don't have the time to fact check everything and everybody, every page I go to, I expect you to be the expert. Now, if you start off by saying, hey, like just say I got what you base is on when you used to do that shit, she'll go and say, hey, not take the back, not Yvette. The girl I met through Yvette, who I found out a couple of days ago, she's a she I'm gonna tell you, she wrote books. She don't wrote books since I haven't spoken to her in a minute. She written a few books. hmm And that's good for her because I know she always was journaling and in the process of writing, books. And I don't think it's a biography or anything like that. I think they're just, books. And I think one of them I saw the title, but of course I didn't read it, but it's about something about sex and stuff like that. She always was into those erotic novels and things of that nature. And I told you that was the only person that I had, sex talk with and stuff like that, who is, younger than I am, but she taught me, a lot. And she used to tell me, a lot of this stuff is in the Cosmopolitan magazine. I'm like, what? Well, yeah. Um, but anyways, let me really end. So what update, DB? So she used to say, she'll tell me, hey, I ain't get a chance to check it out. Like if she give me some information, right? Because everybody, like I said, everybody knows. Okay, with me, you know that you have to be customized, meaning, I don't eat outside. So if you invite me to your barbecue, you must got a place inside for me to eat or what have you. Or it's a screened in, environment. That type of shit, right? And I'm not saying I'm all this, that, and whatever. Everybody has their own particular little quirks or whatever they have about themselves, right? They have their own personal way that they do things. Doesn't mean that you any boy, DB, I'm hating it because of my work hours with this new school. We have a certain time that we have to, you know, punch and record our time and stuff like that. Even with being an adjunct um, professor, sometimes some schools require that you clock in and you have the required, number of hours that your students, I mean, what I mean by that is if you're scheduled to teach from 8 to 9:15, then that's what they want to see right on those days. I hate it. I don't know how y'all do this, Diva. This morning stuff. Uh-uh. I don't walk in nowhere singing good morning to you. Good morning. You cussed out, you know. But anyway, and so, and you, if you don't know the subject matter, you have enough skills in other areas where you know how to research and give us the appropriate resources and things of that nature, because you become the source. You're the expert, you become the source. So you give us, if you're using something that would be resources, right? Because you're the source. Um, and it's just my expectation from me. I don't know, but there's a lot of people that will just land on a lot of these channels and things of this nature and consume this foolishness, and the information be dead ass wrong. It be dead ass wrong. I have received links to channels, right, about stories. The time I see the channel, I know that I can't trust the story. I'm gonna have to, verify it. And I also know that, and sometimes I've sent y'all messages back like, yeah, I don't use this channel, you know, because like I said, y'all, a lot of information specialists I have out there, or I mean, I have, but we all contribute together, information together. And but this is I got access to the channel, so I'm doing the posting, and of some of these stories that come from you guys or what have you. And when it's a channel that I know is one of them, excuse me, one of those uh, channels, and especially I've gotten the ones where the ones be like, so and so died today, or they talk about Beyonce done filed for divorce and all this type of shit. And that's one of those channels. I don't know what they're called. Some of them are powered by AI. But for the most part, they're just saying all kinds of shit to get clicks and views, and it's polarizing to some people, and I think that's what it's meant to do, and shock you and shit, right? Then you go to spreading the word. What you doing? You spreading the wrong word, because none of that happened. But the impact on me is that I got to take a few minutes out of my day to check that shit. I don't got time for that, especially if it's something I'm interested in. I'm gonna check it. Like, so that's why a lot of times when I send you guys back something saying I don't use that channel, I'm actually just trying to guide you to channels that put out the right information, right? So that way you can get used to using those channels, or the difference between the two. But thank God, I don't deal with the slow group over here. You know. But anyway, and you have, and I'm just going off the course a little bit. You'll have people that say, "Oh, she thinks she's that. She thinks she's something." First of all, in the context of what you're saying, no, I do not. Okay, but literally, everybody should think there's something. It don't even make damn sense. Who invests in low self-esteem? Who invests into low self-esteem? That's crazy. I mean, now low self-esteem, and I mean, I'm sorry. high self-esteem and delusion, those are two different things. But I have CVS receipts. I showed you the topics that I should be able to speak on. And I had to order all them damn transcripts. And I don't mind sharing my motherfucking grades. You know? So, like I said, if those law classes wasn't, transfers or what have you, I would have the grades on all that I shared. I don't give a damn. I can't think I'm all that and the smartest to them with a damn D. Can't think that. Shit. I barely made it. But anyway, um, I am just a connoisseur, consumer, whatever you want to classify it as when it comes to information. That's the foundation of your knowledge. And it makes me cringe when I hear people, disinterested in current events and shit that's going on in this world, whatever, because they say that it doesn't affect them or they can do nothing about. First of all, you don't know if can't do nothing about it until you try it. And second of all, maybe as an individual, but collectively, you can. You wouldn't say that when it comes to the advocacy of R. Kelly or something like that. You wouldn't say that if your ass was, laid up sick somewhere in need of a kidney. That person that's a match came back. I mean, just like, I can't stand that. This is why I don't. I ain't trying to be funny, but I don't hang with the ignorant ass, ghetto ass people or slow people. I don't hang with them either. They get on my nerves. They make me start hollering and screaming at them. And I lose, patience and stuff like that. And I hurt their feelings all the time. My child acting like she be having them slow moments and shit like that. I go to screaming or whatever. And then we get into an argument. Surely do. Just like everybody, that includes me, just have their ways. Okay? And it is what it is. My way isn't to just always be nice and kind and sweet or whatever. I'm not saying I'm, just an asshole every minute. No, I'm not an asshole at all. I'm just not always just nice and kind. So, but yeah, again, I don't like no fucked up information. I like news you can use. I can't use shit if it's incorrect. Can't do that. But anyway, so let me get to this, right? Um, when this when the blow up happened between President Zelensky of Ukraine, Donald Trump, JD Vance, and I didn't even know Marco Rubio was in the room, child, until I saw a little skip from SNL. And again, when I had shared this, I didn't watch it all the way through. Well, I watch a few minutes of a lot of these things, throw it up on the wall, park it there until I come back, right? Sometimes. When I, and again, right? So, along with taking some of these channels, I take their word for it because I'm not holding them as the expert. I also take, like you say, Bernie Sanders is a senator. Oh my gosh, all these people, you see in on television with the mic of a phone in front of their face talking about politics. They are 100,000 times more knowledgeable about politics than I am. So I'm going to take your word for it, especially if I see someone like Bernie Mac, and if I hear a Republican or a Democrat, it doesn't matter, speak about a subject and they're not only furnishing their opinion, they're actually furnishing the facts as well, right? And I really love those type of experts, information specialists who will give you the facts and then give you their opinion, right? Because you're communicating to me that even though you're going to supply me with your opinion, you're giving me those facts because you're saying, hey, Angie, I want you to develop your own opinion. You're not being selfish about just cramming down what you think. And that's what you find oftentimes when you're dealing with either left wing or right wing media, right? Especially right wing with their crazy asses. It's full with their opinion, a distorted story. The facts is all lied up. I mean, so, a lot of conspiracy theory. You name it, they do it. So I don't, particularly like listening to media that's one sided, right? However, I will do it because I like a well rounded story. So I want your side, their side, and who's ever in the middle. But anyway, so I when this broke, right? I take that back. When I got hold to it, right? Because I think I didn't talk about it and post it or mention anything about it till the days afterwards, right? But when the argument broke out between President Zelensky and Trump and the people in the Oval Office that were there, I saw this interview with Bernie Mac. Now, Bernie Mac is somebody that I love. So if he says something, I'm pretty much like, oh, okay, this, something must be happening for him to say that, right? Because I believe Lord, Bernie Sanders is one of the fairest politicians, right, that we have, right? In my opinion. So when he said that President Zelensky may need to resign, well, let me play it.
Senator, let me start with Ukraine and that Oval Office meeting. The reaction continues to pour in, and you just heard me speak with House Speaker Mike Johnson. He left the door open to the possibility that it may be necessary for President Zelensky to resign in order to get to a broader peace agreement. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that President Zelensky needs to resign in order for there to be a peace deal?
I think that is a horrific suggestion. Zelensky is leading a country trying to defend democracy against an authoritarian dictator, Putin, who invaded his country. And I think millions of Americans are embarrassed, are ashamed that you have a president of the United States.
Hold on. So I heard it wrong. Oh man, me apologize. I apologize. I heard it wrong, y'all. This is why. Oh shit. Baby, I can do this morning stuff. But when I heard it the other day, I thought that he said that that Zelensky needs to resign. That's why I was so confused. But see, there's a lesson in anything, in everything, right? Because if I didn't have some a little grasp of information or whatever when it comes to politics, that particular gut feeling, that spirit, that monkey on my back, that feeling that I couldn't shake, like this don't make no damn sense. And again, those of you who are observationalists, solutionists, or resolutionists, when you get that, you're going to go and try to solve it. You're going to, because you're going to solve something about where you feeling. Okay? You're going to try to figure it out. Well, why the hell am I feeling like this? So you're going to go looking. But when it comes to subject matters, and it's my opinion, in order to know what to look for and how to get the right answer, you got to just have some type of knowledge or whatever, or smart enough in knowing how to ask the right questions. Okay? Because if you don't, just say if you go, back in the day, or you can still do it online, you go to the library and do what? Go to the section in which you need that book to get the information out of, and you already know what questions to ask. You know what questions to ask. You can ask in the right questions so you can get the what? Right answer. But if you're a dumbass, you don't know what questions to ask. Or if you think you know the questions to ask, they probably going to be the wrong questions. That's going to give you what? The wrong answer. Now, some of you guys are not going to understand why I'm so, into information and thinking at the next level or on a level 2 and above. You probably ain't gonna get it if you're not into that type of stuff. So I'm pretty much talking to those that are into that type of stuff. However, although you might not be into it, you should be into making sure you get the right answer from whatever source you land on, especially out here in this goddamn internet. But you got I've seen some dum-dums just ride around with the wrong information, the wrong answer, spreading the wrong information. They got the wrong answer all living up through their damn body. Yeah, that'll keep me up all night. Suppose you're pulling that information as a teaching tool, and that person that you're teaching is your child or something like that. You know, I just, with ghetto people and ignorant ass nigga people, they just have ways that I'm just not fond of. They're okay with just being dumb and don't know the right information. They're just okay with that. I be wanting to punch them in their face. Thank you, Diva. I mean, yeah, I heard it wrong. That means hell, not Diva. That means I heard it wrong in the middle of the day because I could have sworn Bernie said, yeah, he should resign, and so that was what kind of been. I'm like, well, from what I heard, that would be out of character to me for Bernie. And I'm not talking about out of character meaning he's above telling somebody that they should resign. That's not what I'm saying. I mean out of character meaning like it seems like Zelensky had a good reason to blow up in that goddamn Oval Office. So it would be out of character for Bernie to disagree with him blowing up. That's what I mean. But see, if you're slow, I have to explain it to you. If you're not slow, you understood what I meant when I said out of character. You know? So, but anyway, I apologize, Bernie. And because I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. But anyway, but I can still go to the second part with Zelensky because they're um they're pretty much promoting the argument portion of what happened, right? And again, if you are a person that need that information, you know to do what? Seek what came before it. What was the consequences, meaning what came after. What was the result? Well, not the consequence. Well, you do need to see the consequences, but you need to also know what happened afterwards, right? But again, you can establish however you run your life and however you do your information or whatever. I'm just talking about me. If I got that little bit, I want to know what happened before and what happened after. Then, and also what was the consequences and shit like that. But we haven't gotten to the consequences yet. Okay, because I think what the uh, we don't know what the deal or whatever will contain or whatever. So we don't know all of that. So we don't have the consequences yet. But we do have before and after that argument. But so let me show you this because I'm disagreeing. Not with Bernie, but with the people that said that Zelensky needs to resign in order for a deal a deal to be made between Russia and Ukraine.
If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second
Yeah,
question?
my second question for President Zelensky: Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest. Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office and you refuse to wear a suit, just want to see people, you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I
the
don't have
dignity of this
such-
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish. Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this.
Something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper. That yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
President
Thank you.
Trump. Thank you, President Trump. You said yesterday that you have.
Are you going to send more arms to Ukraine in case there's no peace?
Yeah, we're going to have arms to Ukraine, yeah, sure. Hopefully I won't have to send very much because hopefully we're going to have it finished. We're looking forward to finishing this quickly. We're not looking forward to sending a lot of arms. We're looking forward to getting the war finished so we can do other things. But we very much appreciate the agreement because we needed what they had, and we're treating, our country is now treated fairly. Biden didn't do that. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. This should have never happened. This should have never started. But, sure, the answer is yes, but hopefully we won't have to send much because I'm looking forward to getting it done quickly, very quickly.
Does that mean you'll provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You fall into the same trap like everybody else. A million times you say it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security is the easy part. Security is very nice. Everybody stopped shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceivably, we have security in a different form. We'll have workers there digging, taking the raw earth so that we can create a lot of great product in this country. So in that sense, you have something, but we haven't determined that yet. I will say, in speaking to France and in speaking to, and they were here, as you know, last week and just the other day, they have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need much security. I think once this deal gets done, it's over. Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody's going to want to go back. When this deal ends, I really believe this deal is going to be over. Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. You had President Macron and Keir Starmer at the White House this past week, both of whom praised your courage and conviction to lead the pathway towards peace.
Yes.
Part of that involved, though, re-engaging Russia in diplomatic relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and lead that?
Well, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. I like the question. I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway to getting something solved. And I feel that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that. Plus, we're very much involved. We got involved. It's too bad we got involved because there should have been no involvement because there should have been no war. And there shouldn't have been October 7th. That would have never happened. As you know, Iran was broke. They had no money to give to Hezbollah. They had no money to give to Hamas. They were stone cold broke. And then under Biden, they became rich as hell. They went from no money to $300 billion in a period of 4 years. And they gave a lot of that money away. And you see what happened. And that's a real mess also that we hope to be able to solve. But no, I appreciate your question very much. I feel I have an obligation to try and do something to stop the death.
If I can answer. Yes, if I can answer.
Please,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think he's dressed.
I like this guy.
I think he's dressed beautiful.
So I have more serious things than answer on such
Yeah,
questions.
sure, that's
I will
okay.
answer on more serious
That's a good
questions
statement.
if I can.
Yes.
Yeah. So please, about security guarantees and about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will never work because I'm like the president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times. he broken his own signature 25 times. He broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke.
No, you were the president. You were the president
He
during.
never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods, he had conversations with our side. And we had Normandy format, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia. And he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees. Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, he knows that we have all the world knows that we have meeting. Yes, why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security. When we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop. If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents, strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance connection between the United States and the main and strongest ally and Europeans. And this is crucial. This is important. That's what we want to speak about very much. This is very important. And air defense. So air defense, really, we have big deficit with all these systems, and we need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop and will go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us. It's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared these thoughts. I think maybe with your team also. I don't know, but with all the Europeans, in media, officially and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language, and such life like Ukrainian. No, he really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us.
Okay, so you know what? We can have a good little talk about this, right? So let me explain something, baby. I had to hit a nod real quick. Ugh! I had to hit a nod, honey. I woke up just in time to punch in. But check this out right here, right? Now, when it comes to reporting on a story, giving information, having an understanding of what you're listening to is very important, right? I have heard some stuff where the person reporting on the story, or persons, because different people have done this, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue about the subject matter. They don't have a clue about what the person is saying. Just say, for instance, right? And most of us can do this. I'm sitting up here listening to this, right? And just say this is my first time listening to it, because it is, right? I can explain to you exactly what he is saying. And I'm talking about explaining to you the parts that he didn't say. Most of us can do that. And I know this sounds stupid. Me saying this gonna sound stupid to some people. That's, an average thinker. A person with average smarts. Okay? So what I'm saying is, you don't have to be the smartest person in the world or Einstein to understand what I'm saying. But an average person is going to question like, well, damn, why she is saying that? I mean, anybody with common sense knows this, and it's outrageous. You know what? How the saying go? If you bake cake, bake cakes. If you fry chicken, fry the damn chicken. Meaning, stay in your goddamn lane. Because you're not serving as a source of information. You're serving as a source of fucking confusion. Because you don't have a clue as to what you're talking about. Not a damn clue. Some people think it's a good idea. We're like, oh, well, I see this person doing this. I'm going to try to do it. Hmm? And that only works if you go to part two and what I was talking about. I told you, one, you got to either have the knowledge, about what you're talking about, or you got to be able to go and ask the correct questions, meaning doing a fucking research and a study that bears you the right answers. Hey, Eula. This was 5 or 6 days ago. Let me put the link in the chat for you so you can watch it yourself. Ugh. Well, make sure you subscribe, child. We can be in bed together, but not with each other, But but yeah. So anyway, right? So let's get into what this man, what's going on here thus far, right? And this is the part that I didn't see the other day, and I only saw a few minutes of it this morning because again I thought that Bernie said that the man should resign. See how I had it wrong? It's very easy. So I can say a lot of stuff, but I'm not. Y'all probably will. Right, Eula. But just be careful with who you deal with. Hmm. But yeah, if you feel like you got something to contribute or you want to contribute something, why not, girl? But anyway, so listen. This man was antagonized. Oh, you're not gonna make that much. I'm here to tell you. Now, if you, I don't know what your foundation would be, meaning, I don't know, like if you're going to incorporate, people that you know in your life, you're going to share your channel with them, or you're going to do it like brand new, just from, where you are. You ain't going to tell nobody whatever. You're just going to let people naturally find your channel on YouTube. It's going to, unless you got something like a niche, like you got family channels, you got true crime. You got areas like that. You're not gonna become a rich overnight, child. It takes me months to even qualify to get the $100, right? And the only reason why I get the $100 is because I have real good people who will give me like a super chat or something like that. I don't do no memberships or anything like that. I don't charge nobody, for just coming to my channel or whatever, no monthly fee. So when people give me super chats or whatever, that builds up over time. And then when it gets to $100, they'll cut your check, child. Or you was okay. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. Well then, hey, you used to me fussing. Ugh. But if you're not, I apologize. But I got a fuss. So this Zelensky was antagonized. You got a reporter asking him why he don't dress up. He trying to be smart out the mouth. He got he got a lot of stuff going on, and the least of his worries is a damn outfit, right? You got that. Then you have him trying to explain to Trump and to who that will listen is that Vladimir Putin violate the term of the contract, the agreement, even though he signs off on it, he violates it. That's why he was saying he needs something more than the agreement not to shoot back and forth or whatever the agreement is. He needs agreement for securities, right? Which means that, hey, if Russia goes within a certain area, then America was kick in and show force. Or maybe, other members of NATO. But he's pretty much saying that he needs America physically. Because right now, all we're supplying is money for arms. We supply and we supply money and we supply arms, right? He's saying we need manpower and an agreement that if Russia violates, then then we will step in militarily, right? Because if he wasn't talking about but I know the difference, but let me explain. If he was talking about saying, okay, to America telling Russia, hey, if you violate the agreement, we're going to slap tariffs or sanctions or whatever on you, right? Well, not really, it would be tariffs, but sanctions on you. No, he's asking for securities. That's something different. That agreement is about, hey, if you do this, if you go in this area, we're going to pop out and help Ukraine, hold you back. Let me rewind a little bit because I'm pretty sure he said security.
It will not work without security guarantees. Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, he knows that we have, all the world knows that we have meeting, yes? Why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security. When we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop. If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents, strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance, connection between the United States as the main and strongest ally and Europe.
So what he's saying there is that when America signs on the line and say, hey, we're going to provide security guarantees, right? Security agreements, security backup. And he's saying when the world sees that, right, that we're supporting Ukraine in that manner, they're not going to violate that ceasefire, right? Because they do not want to do what? Fracture our alliance with them, America's alliance with whatever countries that he's speaking of.
Europeans. And this is crucial. This is important. That's what we want to speak about very much. This is very important. And air defense. So air defense, really, we have big deficit with all these systems, and we need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop, and will go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us. It's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared these thoughts. I think maybe with your team also. I don't know, but with all the Europeans, in media, officially and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language, and such life like Ukrainian. No, he really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us. And you are right, Mr. President. That's 2%. This document, maybe other documents, it's a very good start, very good, but it will not enough to stop this person.
Should Russia pay to rebuild Ukraine?
Mr. President, under these
Should Russia pay to rebuild Ukraine?
They have to pay.
This question
This is the rule. This is the rule of the war. This is the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began, those pay. This is the rule. Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion, we can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States also. We can do it, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
under these circumstances, do you envision a trilateral summit with Putin and President Zelensky?
Wait, one second.
I asked this question that you didn't like because I wanted to know if you want to position yourself in the middle between Russia and
Yes.
Ukraine or on the Ukraine's
No, I'm in the middle. I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved. And it's wonderful to speak badly about somebody else, but I want to get it solved. If we can solve it, great. If we can't solve it, they're going to have to fight it out, and who knows what's going to happen. But I want to see it get solved.
May I follow up? One more question about U.S. troops in Europe. After Russian invasion of Ukraine, your predecessor sent additional troops to Eastern Europe, including Poland, my country. Are you committed to keeping these troops on the eastern flank of NATO in the future?
I'm very committed to Poland. I think Poland has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. They, as you know, they paid more than they had to. They are one of the finest groups of people I've ever known. I'm very committed to Poland.
What about Baltics?
Poland's in a tough neighborhood, you know.
What about the Baltics?
The Baltics, they got a lot of, it's a tough neighborhood too, but we're committed. We're going to be very committed, and we're committed to NATO. But NATO has to step up, and the Europeans have to step up more than they have. And I want to see them equalize, because they are in for far less than we're in, and they should be at least equal. You understand that? Why is the United States, we have an ocean in between. Why is the United States in for so much more money and other things as Europe? With that being said, and as you said, they've also been obviously very helpful, but we have put in far more than they have. And I think they should equalize.
Mr. President,
You know what? That's a goddamn shame. The whole president of the United States, that's a goddamn shame. He might need this live. Let me help you out, sir. The reason why we're paying more, one, is our position in the world. Two, those waters isn't just water. Those waters are very important waters, right? One, our allies provide a sense of security in the physical form and in the mental form, right? Because we know that they're there securing that area. What we use those waters for? One, our military use them, and two, for trade. We have to protect the goods that's coming into America. As well as our exported goods. You could say that as well. Our partners, those countries, provide security for the air and in the sea. That's the way we trade. How else you think we get the shit over here and we send it out? That's why it's so important. Ukraine is important to us. Why is Ukraine important to us? Because they are one of our greatest source of agriculture. And what they have to do, we have to send it back and forth. What they use, air and water. Damn, he dumb. You know, he's probably confused about the Baltics, right? He's probably confused about the damn Baltics. Why do we need the Baltics? For the same fucking damn reason. It's for regional security. And this is the president now. That's crazy. Let me continue to play this. Here's some more shit.
Mr.
Please, go ahead.
President, about the agreement again today, what changed between the first time that Secretary Bessent gave President Zelensky the agreement and today for the signing?
We made a deal. So
What was the
I'm just-
deciding factor?
I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed.
Mr. President,
I didn't think we were going to make a deal, and we ended up making the deal, so that changed.
Mr. President, what and how do you envision a trilateral summit with
President Zelensky and Putin.
I don't know,
under
but
these
well, they
circumstances?
don't like each other. I can tell you that. They do not like each other. This is not a love match, and it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation. The United States should not have allowed this to happen. Okay, the United States, run by a man that didn't know much. I'm going to be very nice. Run by an incompetent person, very incompetent person, should never have allowed this to happen. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. My people will tell you, I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about. I stopped wars before they ever started. You can look at some of, I could give you a lot of nations that would tell you right now they were probably going to war. I could tell you right now there's a nation thinking about going to war on something that nobody in this room has ever even heard about. Two smaller nations, but big, still big. And I think I've stopped it. But this should have never happened.
Your call, sir.
Sorry, just a second. About any negotiations.
Hold on. So, oh my gosh. And I'm not the most sophisticated with words and things of that nature, right? However, if I'm away from here, of course, I got it together a little better, you know. But what he's describing is what they call proxy wars. Wars between two little countries that the United States is supporting one country and the someone who's our enemy or thought of as our enemy is supporting another country. That was one of the big issues during the Cold War, right? And the Cold War lasted, pretty much a good little portion of our lifetime, right? It ended in 91. Okay. Let's continue.
First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, more than Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war. But at the future, any negotiations, it's understandable that two sides of the war, not Russia and the United States, because this is not the war between Russia and the United States. This is war of Russia against Ukraine and Ukrainian people. So these two sides will be at the anyway will be at the negotiation table. Then of course United States, like the strongest partner of the Ukraine, and of course Europe. I think Europe is very important. I want to speak about it with the president. Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending the line, and they have real life, and our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And also, it's about the NATO. Yes, between, like the president said, you have big, nice ocean. Yes, between us. But if we will not stay, Russia will go further to Baltics and to Poland, by the way. But first to the Baltics. It's understandable for them because they've been in the USSR. You know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR. And Putin wants to bring them back to his empire. It's a fact. And when he will go there, if we will not stay, you will fight. Your American soldiers, it doesn't matter, do you have ocean or not? Your soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you be willing to visit Ukraine, maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is known to be a 30-year-old Black Sea?
It was my question.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about Odessa. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about making a deal, getting peace. We don't have to talk about Odessa, but a lot of cities have been destroyed. A lot of cities that are not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
No.
And a lot of things
Mr. President, you have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive and people work and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go to underground schools or online, but we live Ukraine is fighting and Ukraine lives. This is very important. And maybe it's Putin is sharing this information that he destroyed us. No, he lost 700,000 people, 700,000 soldiers. He lost everything. Yes. So,
Mr. President, one more. I mentioned Poland.
Please, go ahead.
When did you last speak with President Putin, and what did he say that?
A couple of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good. And I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax. It was all.
And let me tell you, oh my gosh, oh, that man works my goddamn nerve. I'm gonna tell you, he, I wouldn't even say he's media trained. I will say that he had, someone taught him, say, hey, if you don't know what they're talking about, deflect or change the subject to something that you know, in order to stay in the conversation or get in the conversation, right? A lot of times it helps if you drive the conversation, meaning change it to something then you can talk all day about it, and then that way the positions flip. Instead of you being the one to chime in, the people that you're talking to, your audience, they'll be the ones to chime in, right? And you can lead them anywhere you want them to go. He's so full of shit. He didn't have a clue about them goddamn Baltics. And you hear how President Zelensky explained why America isn't, why America's position. Somewhat he explained a position when it comes to the Baltics. They're part of NATO, so we provide the military security. That's why the reporter asked the question. And the only thing he said, and they're in a bad area too. Just about all of our partners have some sort of agreement when it comes to security and trade and share. That's because of where they're located regionally and their proximity, and what they do, their relationship with America, their relationship with our allies. You have to protect the air and the water, sir. And you're protecting it not only for the military, but you're protecting it for trade. You're protecting it because you do not want another country, such as Russia, to invade our allies or people we do business with. That one can destabilize that country. What comes along with that destabilization? Economics. What's a part of the economics? Trade. So in a sense, they take over a particular country. It's not going to be beneficial for America. Because they take over, what you think happens to that agreement? with regards to trade or what have you. Damn.
Well, Biden, it was nothing to do with him. So he had to suffer through that, and he was able to do that. I think that he wants to make a deal, and he'd like to see it end. That's all I do. That's what I do. My whole life, that's what I do is make deals. And I'm in the middle of a mess because this is a real mess. It's a very dangerous one. If this doesn't get solved now, it's not going to get solved for a long time. So I hope we're going to get it solved. In the back, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Starmer claims repeatedly that his government believes in free speech and is not engaged in censorship. But his country's government arrests people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring American companies to censor Americans on his behalf. How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false on such important topics?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I. So was Marco. And we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about that?
Yeah, we have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of those, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of British or any country's jurisdiction. And so this is a point the Vice President made at Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one that what unites us with Europe, as much as anything else, is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
Mr. President.
It's actually a very important question.
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch yesterday. And I know that Secretary of Commerce Lutnick followed up in private meetings last night. This is really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind in the public square, which is often online these days. And we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies and American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the president's leadership, we're going to find common ground with our friends in the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
Mr. President, on the deal, is there any other oil and gas component to the deal? Is it all critical?
A little bit. We'll see.
On LNG?
But we're not really looking for that so much. We got a lot. We have more than anybody in the world by far. So no, we're not talking about it too much, but a little bit. I think it affects also, but for the most part, no.
And sir, is there any agreement from Ukraine to purchase U.S. LNG as part of the deal, or is that on the table?
No, we don't need that.
Some of those minerals I just wanted to ask you about it. You just mentioned that you guys spoken to Vladimir Putin a couple of days ago. Just to be clear, that's a new call, not the one that you...
I've spoken to him on numerous occasions.
Okay. How was the latest call? What did you discuss? How did it go?
Are you serious with that question?
I am. I'd love to know.
It went well. I think we're going to have a deal.
On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has occupied. Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if there's U.S. interest?
Well, we'll take a look at the time. We have a lot of area. It's a very big area we're talking about. So we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect those minerals if they are U.S. interests? Would that be Ukrainian forces?
They'll be protected. The agreement will protect them.
U.S.
The
forces?
agreement, yeah, we're signing an agreement. You know?
He don't have a clue. He don't have a clue. I'm looking at him. I'm reading him. I'm profiling him. He don't have a clue about none of this shit they talking about. And Zelensky on the side of him, you see, he is weighing in. It's nonverbal, but he's weighing in, indicating. It's hard because now I'm in the psychology realm, but indicating the answer. He's given a whole sentence without saying one word. Those of you know what I'm talking about. Okay. The minerals that they're talking about, right? And I should have, and I was supposed to go find exactly more information about, but I'll just tell you what I know, right? The minerals that they're talking about that needs to be protected, and again, right? If he understood NATO and if he understood the EU, the European Union, then he would know the answers to this shit and he would understand how important this shit is, right? The minerals that they're, talking about securing and providing protection to, protection for, we use those to make products, right? That we need. As well as we also sell, products that we make out of those minerals. So there we have to deal with our NATO partners, and thank God the contract is Biden got it all blocked up to where we can't withdraw out of it without NATO, because NATO again agreements provide military and economic support. That would include protection for those minerals that they're talking about. Those minerals are also a big part of the economy, right? I mean, it's actually a big part of the economy and geopolitical science. Geopolitical science incorporates what? Military strength, trade, things like that. But I was supposed to go find out exactly, what those, what are some of those, the big products that those minerals are used for. Yeah, like this is crazy. He don't know the answer to none of this shit. We can't just, disregard the Baltics. Again, they help with our security, protection of those waters, and also, making sure that nobody's bringing their ass through there. And if someone does, then they are to defend. This is the agreement that Zelensky is trying to get America to sign on to. Is to also be a part of the defense. But I think based on what we know from the Cold War, right? America just likes to be a support as when it comes to like money and supplying them with military weapons and negotiations, try to be the middleman and shit like that.
But what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in response?
I just told you, I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder why.
They ought to focus on CNN on survival, not asking me these ridiculous questions. Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings. I don't think they're going to survive. Let's go. Please,
One more. Since I already mentioned Poland. Poland was under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States not only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side is exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, parts of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. That people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you?
Then see, JD Vance, right there, he's trying to deflect and redirect because he knew goddamn well he didn't have anything that could match what Zelensky had just said. He didn't have nothing but, if he was going to tell the truth, I agree with you. All Zelensky is saying is that without a stronger show of support from America in the form of saying, hey, if you do this, we're going to do that in the physical form. Putin is not going to stop. Now, this is what I will give. Maybe because Putin and Donald get along, that would stop him from breaking the contract this time. Maybe. But JD Vance got mad because this man pointed out the obvious. Those are facts. And see, when you got old bullshit ass motherfucker getting hit with the facts like that, they get mad, deflect, and try to redirect. Can't stand these people.
Say what problems we have.
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling.
All he's trying to tell you is the way that you're operating, again, by not providing a stronger support to our allies when it comes to protecting those waters in the air that we need, again, for our military and for trade. Something is going to eventually happen. That's all he's trying to tell you. But they're mad because Zelensky made that point. That point contained nothing but facts. They didn't have anything for that. Okay, and keep in mind, you are looking at people, and I'm talking about on the American side, who was either media trained, been doing this for a long time, or just, I can't think of the other one, the other training. Media training encompasses all of it. But it's a specific type of training that, damn, I can't think of it.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
And when he said you're going to feel influenced, as that relate to what they're talking about and these agreements and things of that nature, meaning that we're going to be put in a position that's the same as he. That we're going to have to make decisions. Instead of being the ones that make decisions for everybody, we're going to be the ones that be like, okay, there's going to be a country that say, okay, if you don't, do this, we're going to do that. What you want to do,
from the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was-
have the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
Very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
Accept
times
that
thank
there,
you
accept
to
that-
American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
And that's another another little trick that we use, right? We, and I'm just speaking as if I was Trump and what he's trying to communicate to the rest of us. He's saying that he wanted America to see how Zelensky is acting. And that's why he didn't stop it. He just letting it go on. Because people like Trump is always up to something. They're always jockeying for position and trying to put you in a position. When I think about it and I replay his body language in my mind, how he's sitting up there, yeah, and when he's thinking right then, yeah, now I can show America that I was right I was right about NATO. And if I don't want to do an agreement with him, I can use this as the reason why. That's why he threw in there, it's going to be very hard to do business with you, right? Because he want to cut off that money. He really don't want to get, supply these people help or none of that. But he doesn't understand that Ukraine, we need Ukraine for agriculture as well as trade. He doesn't understand. See, remember back when he was 45, he was thinking that America can be completely independent, or when it comes to oil, gas, food, this, that, and third, and you can buy it all in America. You can make it in America. We don't need to be dependent upon other countries. He also, thought that, maybe that would be the best for the economy. That's the way to, you making it all in America and all that. That's the way to definitely create jobs. But in my opinion, there is a danger when it comes to the economy outpacing the people. All right, if you put that on a scale such as supply and demand, right? It's just remove supply and remove demand, and replace it with the economy, economic growth, and people. I remember Kella and I one day was talking. I think it was on live of how it was on live of how some areas, some cities had more jobs than they had people. And I'm gonna find out more on my theory about that. It may be something that has already been discussed, and I can just look it up and see, what they say about it. But cause did we study that? A long time. Let me see.
You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you
that wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Well, Donald Trump made
Wait a minute, now how the hell? Hello. I don't know what's going on. Now, please tell me, how does the sitting president don't know if Putin broke an agreement with the previous president, and you're going into a meeting talking about some of those same things? This is what I'm talking about. I knew I was right. All he gets is briefs, bullets. He just have his talking points prepared, and anything outside of that, he don't have a clue. That's some scary ass shit. How do you not know? Oh, okay. So I remember I said about economy outpacing the population or people, and it says the potential negatives include increased income equality, environmental degradation, resource depletion, inflation pressures, a potential bubble economy, and a lack of skilled labor to support rapid growth if the benefits are not distributed evenly across the population. Yeah, so there you have that. He's a dumbass. And let me tell you something else. With his type, he's going to always, when it comes to meetings such as that, press conferences, environments that require him to answer questions and provide us information, and so like that setup, he's more than likely always going to have somebody with him. That's why he has Elon in the room. That's why he got JD answering questions and shit like that, because he doesn't have a clue. We don't have a clue. Like, how do you not know if Putin, violated the agreement? But Mr. Bernie, I am so sorry, honey. I thought that you said that the man needed to resign as president. I thought that you were saying Zelensky did based on what he did. And I was like, that can't be right. Man, I know that's all shit. some silly mess. Don't even have a clue. I'll be damned. And this goes back to what I started this live off about. Knowing your subject matter. I'm telling you, I'd be all over the internet, right? Not even on YouTube as a source of information, just other places. And baby, I done clicked on, and before you know it, I'm sitting over there, my mouth open, like, what the fuck? You don't supposed to leave your people with more questions than answers. And a headache. Like, we know you don't know the hell it is you're talking about. Like, shit. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And you have some people that knock it out the park. And some people have their weakness, right? And I tell you, my weakness is presenting. And I be having so much shit that I'm interested in. Hell, sometimes I don't give it the time that I need to give it, right? But at least my information be factual. And if it's not, I'm gonna come and goddamn it, correct it, right? Y'all know what I'm doing. I'm massaging my damn lumps and bumps. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, and I don't understand why the hell do people sit up there and try to explain topics and shit they don't have a goddamn clue about and just end up talking damn nonsense. Like Trump. Like Trump, honey. Okay. I guess I'm not. 30 more minutes. I can log off, honey. Yeah. Gotta go from 8 to 9:45. Yeah, but that's some crazy shit. Who won't sleep? I'll never say nothing. But why the hell are you up there acting like, and then suppose somebody, just say if you just say if you down limit. And you have people that's not smart enough to know the difference between you giving your opinion and you giving facts. And you got people, and you have people running around here saying what you say, and that's simply your goddamn opinion. That's why I tell y'all, say in my opinion, or put it plainly, state it the way we know it's your opinion. But some people, they ain't even smart enough to figure that out. And I told you, ignorance and illiteracy, they're going to destroy the world. I can't stand them ignorant motherfuckers. Oh, they just illiterate. Dumb. Oh, I'm not. I'm still on here. Yeah. I can just be mouth now. So you so unprofessional. Surely is. That's some annoying ass shit. I mean, you got like, what the hell are you talking about? And then, just like then, right? We kind of profile the two, right? And again, profile is a broad word that's used for similar behavior, right? What I do personally and professionally, and some of you guys do personally and professionally, or professionally, right? But I was telling you, what they weren't saying, or I was trying to break down what they did say. You have people that I've seen on the news cycles that try to do the same thing, right? And they're not a part of CBS or anything like that. They just got a regular channel. They are there just giving the wrong information about the people, what the people didn't say, how they said it, and what they meant. And it didn't mean none of that. None. It's like some people seem like that the shit that they're being introduced to, like they've never heard and seen it before. Like they've never been on this motherfucking planet. Like, what the fuck? You should stay in your lane. There are some people that do well with putting out information. But to me, if you see you got, I can't say that. I can't say that. But if you see others struggling, you should help them. You should put them to the society and say, sis or bro, let me help you with your information. That's what I do. And it don't have nothing to do with I've been training and instructing and shit since I started, like since about 90. 'Cause I told you that white lady, who our friend, I don't want to call her white lady because she's actually a friend of ours, put me and fake ass girlfriend on. So when I had to train others, especially my friends and stuff like that, who then I put on, or other people she put on or whatever, or we had new hires or whatever, and I had trained them. I trained them to be better than me. And I go back and check to see what their, numbers are and their reviews and shit. I surely do. Made no goddamn sense. I mean, and was so damn said the dumbest shit. It don't make no sense. But it always the dumb and slow people that want to do the most talking. Ain't saying nothing. You be ashamed of yourself. And they, I've seen them same people. These be men and shit. Be talking about the next man. Because, the men be like, yeah, I'm all this. Yeah, with that bad information. With that, you a dumbass. Because a lot of times, if I don't know immediately right then, I'd be fact checking. I'd be fact checking. Especially when, they be talking about celebrities, talking about politics and shit like that. I mean, you don't know. Go ask some goddamn about it. A lot of times you cannot learn just from observation, right? A lot of times you can't do that. If I can't get a good profile of somebody, I'm just observing, I have to do something else. I'm telling you, you guys and girls, anybody come across this live, I'm sleepy as hell. Listen, if you got a friend, a family member in the information space, whether it be on or off the internet, and you see them putting out bad information, struggling, they don't know they struggling because they that dumb. They don't know that they giving out. They don't even know that they giving out bad information. Because they just that dumb, just smiling and shit. Pull them to the side and help them. Coach them up. I'm not popping my goddamn collar, but I done coached and helped a whole bunch of people out here. And please tell me I'm lying. People ain't even on here no more. I mean, it's goddamn ridiculous. I mean, you really shouldn't say nothing about nobody. Mm-hmm. Serious though. I mean, just the simplest. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is the simplest way to. Okay, now I'm going to say, and this is just personal experience, right? If I'm doing, of course, I'm going to do a case different, right? Because it's just of my experience or what have you. And I probably doing too much, but it's just habit. It's easy to me. But if I am trying to figure someone else's case out and I don't have the records, that's difficult. Right? Even though we get it right, but that's difficult. I don't know. Oh, what am I talking about? I'm so sleepy. But so that's a little difficult, right? Talking about somebody else's shit. The easiest is when all you have to do is do kind of like what I did today. Play the video, pause it, talk about it. If you got paperwork, that's great. Read it and get the fuck on, right? Don't try to explain no shit that you don't know what the hell it is you talking about. How the hell, who the hell messes up playing a video and the people talking? Who messes that up? You ain't had to say shit. Or you could just simply repeat what they say. God damn. I'm telling you, all you have to do is go over there in the celebrity world, like Nicki Minaj, she got her little areas, and you got the Beehive. Or you can even go over there in the church sector. They do that. They get it wrong like that. Like you put the video on, and the pastor in there said that Friday night after church service, he went to Betty's house, but he didn't drive his car. He drove his cousin's car. That's all you got to elaborate on. How hard is that? How you fuck that up? I'm like, my gosh. Like, baby? Uh-uh. And it's like, we sitting there. No, you wrong, because we heard the pastor what he said. He ain't say nothing about what you said. You done put your own shit to it. You got to understand you have limitations. You don't have the same abilities as everybody else. You have to deal with that. You can't wake up overnight and become something that you want to be, but you ain't. And it just don't work that way. And they be on now, on them panels, the men, on that, especially in that church place, and be seeing they brothers struggling and won't even help out. And I told them church people are the worst people. They got their information together. People enjoying their shit. Yeah, people are enjoying their information, their presentations and stuff, and their conversations and all of that. But you got that your one butt up on that panel, and it's always one. I remember when that Roy stuff broke out over there, and we found them. I ain't know them people. Discovered them other people that was over there. What's the man name? Um, I'm serious. They be acting like somebody knocked the Mario coins out their head. They ain't got a lick of goddamn sense. Don't know what the fuck they talking about. But they trying to do what everybody else do, and it just don't work that way. Do what you do. You know, they wanna talking about people and shit, and I'm like, oh, if somebody start talking about how dumb your ass is, they be the only one off topic. It's a shame, child. Mm-mm. I can let my child see me that dumb. And I think maybe they think they can just bullshit their way through life, whatever, taking shortcuts and shit like that. A lot of people think that. Well, that worked over on this person. I got over on that person. You ain't gonna get over on everybody. That shit ain't gonna work on everybody. They gonna be able to tell you don't have a clue. It's a damn shame, honey. Goddamn, I'm talking about passing all kind of bad. And I do it anytime they say, especially them the church area, somebody always dying. I always have to Google it to make sure. That's a shame. I can't even trust what the hell you say. It passed the collection plate too for that bad information. I was like, ooh, not today. I don't know why. If friends won't get them on the same level as they are, and what killing this will really be killing me. The people in the chat. How you I'll say this. There'll be some people that may correct them. but not all the time. All the time, that shit be so goddamn wrong, and nobody in the chat saying that. I be thinking, well, damn, is the people in the chat dumb too? Ain't no way in hell. And they get mad. If somebody do correct. And granted, they be teasing and stuff, but and they'll get like a little attitude if somebody correct them, teasing them, but damn, you don't want to be wrong. These people that are having wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah. It seems like they can cook 30 pork chops. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm like, ooh. I think I don't want to they were talking about nothing wrong with it being a foster care or whatever. That's what I'm saying about the foster care, how if you had to, I would be listening and all of that. But yeah, because I'm like, bless it's a little hard though. You be trying. I mean, that's just like, y'all know Andrew Caldwell. His head pushed in the back. Right off the rip. Andrew slow. Everybody know that. And but he be making the people argue and cuss him out. And you don't really supposed to be arguing though, because being slow like that's a handicap. That's a disability. You don't supposed to be arguing with them people. But just like how they be doing Shamar, because they will call you out your name, and then the first thing that people usually crack on is them people with disability. But yeah, and Andrew is another one, and he got caught in all you getting caught in all them damn lies, honey. He don't lie so much. He doesn't call so many damn lies. It don't make no sense. Yeah. Yes, somebody is. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, but oh, you're coming to my foot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm like, what the hell is going on? You're giving, the wrong information, the wrong number. And the shit don't make a bit of sense. I'm like, honey, you need to be over there where the kids over there learning motherfucking Sesame Streets and shit, because this don't make no goddamn sense. And it be messing up their live and stuff because everybody be on topic. Everybody be, making sense of shit. They be giving their opinion, even if I agree with it or don't agree, whatever. Then here you got this motherfucking nut coming now talking crazy and be, and they don't, sometimes they'll say, well, that ain't right. But then most of the time they let them go with all that bad information. I'm like, I would have a disclaimer. This information ain't right. Don't act like you coming in my channel that's known for having the right information and shit. And then I got this motherfucker sitting up here talking about shit that they making up or I don't know. I don't know what to say. My mouth be open. I want them to get it together. Like who the hell can't, push a few buttons on a computer in order to have somebody say something. And then he come. You come in now with some dumb shit. It don't make a bit of sense, child. From the top to the bottom. You need to be, and then I think you like 40 something. I'm like, baby, you need to be shaming your goddamn self. This ain't no child I'm talking about. This is a seasoned vet. They get together and bring their information together, but shit. Well, I ain't gonna tell you that person. Another channel I be listening to. And then it just came out that, but he's somebody in the industry. Can't vote. And I think he's into it with Wack. I wonder. But I think he is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They want to nod it. My head went all the way down to the bed, man. I'm gonna go though. But yeah, I'm just. You see how I almost fucked that up? And I listened. I'm like, oh no. It didn't make no sense. Right? And now all is well in the world. But baby, these motherfuckers, honey, I be like, God damn. And I want to do that man have friends, any friends or whatever that would call him after they shut that live down. And live down, like, man, no, that shit you said wasn't right. I don't know. I don't know if it's that got to be a handicap because that man 40 something years old and the video was playing and the people was on there speaking plain English. And when I tell you, he went to transcribe that into something. And I'm like, that ain't what that said. That's not what that said. Yeah. Let me get off of this. All right, y'all. Hey, sorry about all of that confusion. But yeah. So if you didn't know, now you know why our allies, which include Ukraine, is so important to the health of America. Okay, because and think about it like this: we're here. We have business abroad. Therefore, we need assistance conducting that business abroad. That business abroad consists of military power, military facilities, and the things that we store on those facilities, right? We have technology, a lot of the same things that we have here, we have there, but just in a smaller capacity, right? We also have part of our economy that's abroad. Okay? In our absence, we have agreements with those countries and where we have our um, military structures and our agriculture, all that type of, we have that over there in them other countries. We have an agreement for them to maintain them, protect them, our assets. That's the word I was looking for. Right? We have all that stuff over there. Not only can the country, other countries, um, afford for Russia or whoever to come into their country and take over, we can't afford it. When it comes to traveling and shipping, traveling, when I say traveling, I'm talking about the military. And shipping, I'm talking about trade. When it comes to that, we only can use water and air the same way as we travel when we going abroad. We're not there to protect it, so we have to contract that out. Just think of that. We sign an agreement, which is a contract. We contract it out. Very simple. Now, making our country 100% independent or close to it, make it happen, but it'll take a minute. And let me see how. Hold on. Let me see. I'll tell you what I have to go. see. Okay, it doesn't give me the quick answer. Well, I don't know if we've ever been 100% independent. I don't know. I don't know. I ain't got time to do that now. But I don't know, because I'm just trying to think of how that structure, how that system would work. Often energy is the tester, but I don't know. But the thing about it is, I know that we could probably manufacture the parts here, because a lot of times, we're buying the parts from overseas as well as the product, but a lot of times we buying the parts, and of course we need the parts because that's another way we form a dependency. We need the parts for the product that we have over here, right? My problem with Trump is that he's always speaking for the private sector. You cannot make a business all of a sudden begin to manufacture everything in the U.S. You can't do that. You can't make a business, even if you give them all the breaks in the world, unless you have an exclusive contract with them between the government and the private sector. Say, hey, if I give you, this amount of reduction in taxes, will you generate 100 new jobs? Unless you got something like that going, all you doing is assuming. I cut the tax, I did it, then you get more, job. Unless it work like that. So, in order for America to be 100%, independent and whatever, that would require that private sector businesses agree to produce everything here, grow everything, and all of that. I don't think that is even possible. That's a conversation that they would have to have, the government and the private sector. I don't think that uh, uh, so um, yes. Let me get up off here, baby. My sleep is there. Yes, honey. But y'all keep sending me the clips. I will keep checking them out. I'm talking about anybody. Y'all can send me anything. Hey, so make sure you do some good for yourself or someone else. Make their good day and tomorrow even better day. And I am out of here, honey, and so are you. I can find my mouse. All right, bye. Love y'all. Be safe.